The entertainment world is in overdrive right now, as three seemingly separate storylines collide into one explosive moment. Blake Lively's leaked deposition has become the most talked about development in Hollywood legal circles, sending shockwaves through the industry as everyone scrambles to piece together what was really said under oath. Insiders claim the fragments making their way into the public sphere hold clues to conversations and events that could reshape not only the case, but also the reputations of some of the biggest names involved, and just when you think the story could not get any more tangled. Isabela Ferrer, a figure whose testimony could bring clarity, has vanished from the public stage, entirely refusing to step forward. Despite mounting pressure from legal teams and growing curiosity from the media, her absence is now fueling speculation about what she might know and why she is staying silent, adding yet another layer of intrigue to an already complex web of connections. Meanwhile, in the music world, Taylor Swift has unveiled the track list for her upcoming album, setting her fan base into a frenzy as they decode possible meanings behind every song title, with some even wondering whether subtle messages or personal references could tie back to the storm surrounding her close friend. Lively, this rare convergence of legal drama, celebrity mystery, and pop culture anticipation is unlike anything we have seen before, creating a perfect storm, where fans, journalists, and analysts are all watching the same set of headlines, but searching for entirely different answers. In the next few moments, we will unravel how these three narratives are intertwining, why each development matters, and how the choices being made right now could define careers, relationships, and public perceptions for years to come. The sudden wave of whispers sweeping through the entertainment industry has now broken into a flood of speculation as the latest developments involving Blake Lively, Isabela Ferrer, and Taylor Swift begin to take center stage in a saga that is gripping both Hollywood insiders and the global fan community. The day began quietly enough until word started spreading that portions of Blake Lively's previously sealed deposition had somehow been leaked, sending publicists, journalists, and curious onlookers scrambling to make sense of the emerging fragments of information. This was not just any celebrity interview or off-the-record chat. It was sworn testimony taken under legal oath during an ongoing case that has already kept media outlets in a constant state of high alert for months. Insiders familiar with the situation suggest that the leaked content may have originated from someone close to the proceedings, someone with enough access to sensitive files to selectively share pieces of the narrative without yet revealing the full picture. The result is a frenzy of interpretation, where each sentence, each hint, and each inferred meaning is dissected by commentators who understand just how much weight these words could carry in the broader context of the legal drama surrounding Blake Lively, while the exact details of the deposition are still being carefully guarded. In official channels, the leak has sparked renewed interest in how this case could evolve, especially given the unpredictable dynamics of celebrity relationships, industry alliances, and long-buried disputes. The involvement of Isabela Ferrer adds yet another layer of intrigue, as her name has been whispered for weeks in connection to potential testimony that could either clarify or complicate the case further. Multiple sources have claimed that Ferrer was expected to be a key witness whose statements might shed light on certain events, timelines, and interactions that are currently the subject of dispute. Yet despite repeated scheduling attempts and formal requests, she has managed to remain out of reach, avoiding direct confrontation. With the legal teams involved, this absence is now becoming part of the public narrative as people speculate on whether her decision to remain elusive is rooted in legal strategy, personal choice, or perhaps pressures from other influential figures. Connected to the case, the longer she stays silent, the more questions seem to pile up, especially as those in the know point out that even a single appearance in court could dramatically shift the trajectory of the ongoing proceedings. All of this is unfolding alongside an unexpected twist in the world of music, as Taylor Swift, a close friend of Blake Lively, has been making headlines of her own by teasing the track list for her upcoming album. The reveal of song titles has sent the Swiftie community into overdrive, decoding possible lyrical references, connections to real events, and hidden Easter eggs that might subtly intersect with the themes swirling around the legal drama, although it would be purely speculative to draw direct lines between Swift's creative work and the deposition leak. Some fans are convinced that certain tracks might carry personal significance or layered messages, particularly given the highly interwoven personal and professional networks in which all three women operate. The entertainment press is having a field day, juxtaposing the worlds of courtroom tension and pop culture anticipation, producing headlines that seem designed to pull in both legal drama followers and music enthusiasts. At the same time, the unique blend of these narratives has created a media environment where speculation becomes almost impossible to avoid, and every small development feeds the cycle further for Blake Lively. The challenge now lies not only in navigating the legal implications of the leak, but also in managing the public perception that inevitably comes with it. Her representatives have so far declined to issue any detailed statement, instead opting for a measured approach that neither confirms nor denies the authenticity of the leaked material. This leaves a vacuum that is quickly filled by online chatter and expert commentary. Some legal analysts have noted that even partial leaks of deposition content can influence public opinion in ways that may indirectly affect courtroom strategy. While official rules of evidence remain strict in what is admissible, the court of public opinion tends to operate on a much looser standard, and in high-profile cases like this, perception often matters almost as much as the eventual verdict. Isabela Ferrer's absence, meanwhile, has become its own kind of headline, as her reputation for avoiding high-pressure situations collides with a legal matter where her voice could be pivotal. Journalists who have covered her career point out that she has always been selective about her public appearances, preferring to keep a low profile, despite having significant connections in fashion, entertainment, and philanthropy circles. Yet this situation seems to be testing the limits of that discretion, because the longer she remains silent, the more her potential testimony becomes a subject of intense curiosity. And as for Taylor Swift, the tracklist drop has already begun dominating streaming platforms and social media timelines, with fans compiling theories about which songs might be upbeat anthems, which might be emotional ballads, and which might contain cryptic messages aimed at those paying close attention. The way these three storylines are intersecting almost by coincidence creates a perfect storm of public fascination, where the personal, the legal, and the artistic are all colliding in real time. What happens next is anyone's guess, but one thing is certain: the combination of a leaked deposition, a missing witness, and a globally anticipated album release has ensured that this story will dominate conversations in multiple industries for weeks, if not months, to come. And for those watching closely, each new detail, no matter how small, could be the spark that ignites the next wave of headlines, turning what was already a dramatic chapter in Hollywood history into something even more unforgettable. As the hours passed after the initial whisper of the deposition leak, the atmosphere in the entertainment press rooms shifted from cautious observation to full-blown investigative overdrive. Producers of morning talk shows began calling their legal analysts in early, preparing for segments that could break down the implications of what Blake Lively might have said under oath, and how those words could ripple through her ongoing legal situation. The fascination lies not just in the fact that something leaked, but in the mystery of how it happened and what it could mean for the credibility of the process. Leaks like this are rare in high-profile cases, not because they are impossible, but because the risks of releasing sworn testimony are immense. It invites scrutiny into the chain of custody for the documents, the trustworthiness of insiders, and the broader ethical standards of those involved. Yet here we are, with enough detail emerging to stir interest, but not so much that the full picture can yet be drawn. The public is left piecing together fragments, cross-referencing them with past interviews, statements, and known facts in an effort to build their own theories. And while this swirl of speculation intensifies, the subplot involving Isabela Ferrer becomes even more captivating. Industry observers note that Ferrer's potential testimony is unique, not because she is a celebrity herself, but because she occupies a position on the periphery of several key moments. In the narrative, she is not at the center, but she has a line of sight that could provide clarity. She was seen at events where certain conversations allegedly took place. She is believed to have interacted with individuals whose accounts are now under dispute, and she is connected socially to people who appear in the court filings. Yet for all this, she has remained absent from the witness chair. Her legal team has been described as strategic to the point of near invisibility, avoiding media inquiries, declining public comment, and focusing instead on what they call an ongoing dialogue with relevant parties. Those words have been repeated often enough in statements to reporters that they feel almost rehearsed, and perhaps they are, because in the realm of high-stakes legal disputes, every word is weighed for its potential to shift perception. Meanwhile, the music world continues to buzz with the rollout of Taylor Swift's tracklist, an event that in any other week would be dominating. every entertainment headline on its own, the fact that it is unfolding parallel to the lively Ferrer situation has led to some of the most unexpected crossovers in online discussions. Fans who are deep in decoding the possible narratives behind each song title find themselves tagged in threads, speculating about the Deposition leak and vice versa. This blending of audiences has the effect of amplifying both stories, because people who may not have followed one are now curious about them. Other theories are springing up that certain tracks might serve as subtle commentary on themes of truth, privacy, betrayal, or resilience, all of which could easily be applied to either personal life experiences or the situations currently playing out in the headlines. Of course, there is no direct confirmation from Swift or her representatives that any such connections exist, but that has never stopped the fan base from building entire frameworks of interpretation around even the smallest. Hence, the business side of the entertainment industry is also paying attention, because these overlapping narratives are driving engagement metrics to unusual highs. Marketing strategists are studying how the collision of legal drama and album anticipation creates spikes in search interest, click-through rates, and social media mentions, in some cases even overshadowing major movie releases and award season campaigns. The combination of real-world stakes and artistic mystery is proving to be a potent formula for capturing audience attention in the midst of this media storm. Blake Lively remains outwardly calm, appearing in public with her usual poise and carefully styled appearances. Yet behind the scenes, those familiar with crisis management in Hollywood suggest that her team is in constant motion, balancing legal strategy with reputation management, while ensuring that any public appearance does not inadvertently feed into speculation about the leak. Insiders say that the Deposition content touches on multiple aspects of the ongoing case, from timelines of certain events to clarifications of previous public statements, and although the partial leak does not provide a complete picture, it is enough to spark debate over what the rest of the testimony might reveal. This is where the absence of Isabela Ferrer becomes even more critical, because if her testimony were to align or conflict with parts of the deposition, it could change how both the public and the court view the matter. Observers are now openly wondering if Ferrer's avoidance is a temporary measure designed to buy time until the right legal protections are in place, or if it is an indefinite decision made to preserve her privacy regardless of the potential consequences in the entertainment capital. Speculation is currency, and every day that passes without her appearance only increases the value of whatever she might one day say. The parallels between this legal drama and the anticipation for Taylor Swift's new album create a unique cultural moment, one that blends the immediacy of breaking news with the long-tail engagement of pop music fandom. Each feeds the other in ways that keep both stories alive across platforms, from traditional news outlets to short-form video content on social media. In this way, what began as a straightforward leak of legal testimony has evolved into a multi-threaded narrative, drawing in audiences from different worlds and holding their attention with a mix of uncertainty, emotion, and the promise of eventual revelation. What will happen when the full deposition is released, if it ever is? How will the public respond? If Ferrer finally speaks, and could Swift's album release provide an unexpected commentary or soundtrack to this unfolding story? These are the questions that keep the public engaged, as each new day brings another twist, another hint, another opportunity to read between the lines in the grand theater of celebrity culture. This is the kind of moment that few could have predicted, but that everyone now seems invested in watching play out. As the third day of this rapidly expanding media frenzy began, the ripples from the Blake Lively deposition leak had turned into waves that seemed to touch every corner of the entertainment and news landscape. What started as a few whispered mentions among industry insiders was now dominating the homepages of major digital outlets, with multiple takes on what the leaked content could signify and why it had emerged at this moment. Theories abounded, some pointing toward calculated timing designed to sway public perception, others suggesting internal conflicts within teams that may have led to selective sharing of sensitive details regardless of motive. The fact remained that this was sworn testimony from a high-profile figure, and any leak of that nature carries implications far beyond gossip. Column's legal analysts were careful to point out that even partial exposure of such content could lead to motions in court about admissibility, confidentiality, and possible sanctions depending on who was responsible for its release. Yet for the general public, the focus was less on the legal technicalities and more on what the fragments could mean in the broader narrative of an ongoing high-profile dispute. As the speculation intensified, Isabela Ferrer's absence grew even more conspicuous. She had now missed multiple opportunities to provide testimony in settings both formal and informal, and each missed appearance was dissected by commentators as though it were a deliberate move in a larger chess game. Some believed she was avoiding the spotlight to protect herself from becoming a pawn in a battle between more powerful players. Others thought her silence might be a negotiating tactic, allowing her to maintain leverage, in case her cooperation was needed at a later stage, regardless of the reasoning. The lack of her voice in this unfolding drama only seemed to increase its value. Journalists were digging deeper into her past appearances, public statements, and known associations to find anything that might give clues about her potential perspective on the matter. The attention on Ferrer also brought renewed focus to the interconnected nature of high-profile social circles in Hollywood and beyond, where personal relationships often overlap with professional alliances, creating a complex web that can be both a source of strength and vulnerability. The curiosity around what she might say if she ever chose to speak publicly was paralleled in a completely different arena by the excitement surrounding Taylor Swift's soon-to-be-released album. The track list had already sparked waves of analysis from fans, but now with the Deposition leak dominating news cycles, there was an emerging subset of commentary. Trying to link the two in imaginative ways, some pointed out that certain track titles seemed to resonate with themes of secrecy, truth, and personal resilience, while others noted that the timing of the reveal was at least coincidentally aligned with the legal drama unfolding around Swift's close friend Blake Lively. Though these interpretations were purely speculative, they added another layer of intrigue to an already complex media moment. The blending of these stories was not lost on marketing analysts, who noted that the audience overlap between celebrity legal drama followers and dedicated music fans was creating unusual engagement patterns. Hashtags combining elements from both narratives were trending simultaneously on social platforms, driving discussion and increasing visibility for all parties involved, whether intentionally or not. The convergence of these events was keeping them both in the public eye for far longer than either might have remained on their own. For Blake Lively, the situation demanded a delicate balance between addressing the legal ramifications of the leak and maintaining her public image. She continued to appear composed in her rare public outings, but those close to the entertainment industry know that behind such poise there is often a flurry of strategic planning and rapid response work from both legal teams and publicists. The Deposition leak had not yet been officially confirmed or denied in detail, leaving room for speculation that could be both advantageous and risky depending on how the narrative developed. As the days went on, the legal implications became more pressing, because if the leak could be traced back to a particular party, it might lead to procedural consequences that could affect the overall case strategy. At the same time, the public appetite for updates was insatiable, with each new rumor fueling further media coverage and online discussion in the absence of definitive statements from the key players. The conversation was driven largely by interpretation analysis and the occasional anonymous tip from someone claiming to be close to the situation. In the midst of this uncertainty, Isabela Ferrer's continued avoidance of testimony was becoming almost as headline-worthy as the Deposition leak itself. Legal commentators speculated about the potential reasons for her absence, from citing health concerns to suggesting that she might be in the process of negotiating terms for a closed-door statement rather than a public appearance. Whatever the case, her absence allowed her to remain an enigma, and in the realm of celebrity culture, mystery is often as powerful as visibility. Meanwhile, the clock was ticking toward Taylor Swift's album release date, and the anticipation was building at a pace that rivaled even the most carefully orchestrated promotional campaigns. Fans were organizing listening parties and creating elaborate theory boards, mapping potential lyrical connections to real-life events as they saw them. The crossover effect between this fan activity and the ongoing legal drama created a unique kind of cultural moment, one in which a piece of music could be discussed in the same breath as sworn testimony and a missing witness. The combination was as unpredictable as it was captivating, drawing in audiences who might never have expected to find themselves following both stories at once. This synergy of narratives suggested that in the modern media landscape, the lines between entertainment genres and real-world events were becoming increasingly blurred for the individuals at the center of it. However, the stakes were all too real, and the outcome of the legal case could have lasting implications on careers, reputations, and personal relationships as this multi-layered story continues to unfold. The threads connecting Blake Lively's leaked deposition, Isabela Ferrer's disappearance from the witness stand, and Taylor Swift's upcoming album remain. Both complex and deeply captivating, the partial glimpse into Lively's sworn testimony has already shifted public discussion in ways that could have lasting impact on the legal proceedings, while also placing her firmly in the center of a media spotlight that shows no sign of dimming. Ferrer's ongoing absence has transformed her from a potential supporting figure into a central mystery, whose eventual decision to speak or remain silent could alter the course of this narrative entirely. The longer she stays in the shadows, the more her voice becomes a missing piece in a puzzle everyone is desperate to solve. And then there is Taylor Swift, whose tracklist reveal has brought a different kind of electricity to the moment, bridging the worlds of art and real-life headlines with a subtlety that allows for endless interpretation by her fans together. These storylines form a cultural snapshot of how fame, law, and creativity can collide in unexpected ways, captivating audiences who might never have followed all three spheres on their own. Yet here, they are intertwined, feeding off each other in ways that amplify the intrigue for everyone watching. The unanswered questions still loom large. Who was behind the leak? What would Ferrer say if she chose to testify, and will Swift's album offer hidden context or simply stand on its own as a work of art? These uncertainties ensure that the fascination will not fade anytime soon as the public waits for the next twist in a saga that has already proven to be one of the most compelling and unpredictable in recent Hollywood history.